I move for no man, no man, no man, no man, no man.
We'll call it a draw.
No man.
Just a flesh wound, 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 just a flesh wound.
Look at Chris's bad head, man.
Yeah. That shit's
Gary,
getting
are you frozen?
out of control.
Gary's not a morning person.
No, I had to. For some reason, when Skype turned on, there was a bunch of fucking random shit that I had to select through. So, I'm wearing my beautiful emu hat in remembrance of the
emus.
Australian Emu Wars. You know,
Dude, you have the most random shit.
Yeah, he does. Dude,
have you guys ever heard of the Emu Wars? Are you
what do
aware?
mean,
No, it's a real thing?
No, it's an actual war that took place in Australia against the emu, and the emu won.
So wait, like actual
humans
human
fighting
beings fought this
Yes.
animal, and the animal
Correct.
fucked them up?
Correct. The animal won.
The
It went
stupid
on-
animal on
It
your
went on for
cap?
yes, it went on for decades.
That's awesome.
In
This sounds
Australia.
like a cartoon.
So these emu decided that they were just gonna terrorize like local like farmers and crops and everything like that, and I guess like in the cities as well. So they're like, all right, we gotta like deal with this emu population. You gotta find a way to push back on them. So it literally got to the point where the military got involved and started like they armed like farmers and stuff like that to try to fight against the emus, and they just kind of gave up. They're like, I guess they're just gonna be here. They couldn't deal with it.
And the animal looks like a really stupid animal. So it's like, okay, we're just gonna take care of them.
It's like yeah.
And
it's
then
a
this
retail
animal
option.
fought back and fucked him up.
Yeah,
That's
Oh,
amazing.
yeah. You correct. They crushed it, man.
Are they
So-
fierce? I don't know anything about emus.
I mean, I'm assuming that they
Well,
have
Chris,
some
they won a
serious
battle, bro.
pecking
I don't know.
power.
How many Australians you guys met?
I don't know much about their ability to like claw you with their feet or anything, but I'm assuming that like an ostrich, they can like use their beak to like attack you, you know. But apparently
Yeah.
they didn't win.
Chris, we should have Avril on and talk about the Battle
We
of the
should.
Emu.
I don't know how good she is with history, but we could definitely get her on.
Well, I mean, if in
This
history
head-
books there's a
this
battle of the
headband there is
emus because
amazing.
of the animal, I
You
respect
look like
it.
Nancy Pelosi right now. not because of your hair, because of the African style of the headband.
Oh, it's actually Bob Marley. I bought it in
Ah,
this little like
okay.
smoke shop down in Boca Raton.
I
And-
see.
When it's open, it's literally like just like Bob Marley like smoking
Yeah.
and playing the guitar. And I'm like, that's badass. And then when you roll it up, and it looks like an African headdress.
Gary, we
Awesome.
caught Chris in his most vulnerable moment.
Did we?
I
Waking
woke
up.
up 20 minutes ago.
Same.
He didn't have time to do his hair or anything.
Dude, it's 6:30 here a.m.
What do you got in store, Chris?
I got boxing at 8. Found a little local gym. Former UFC fighter Todd Medina, El Tiburon. He fought like Vanderlei Silva. He fought in like the late 90s, early 2000s. He's got a little local gym over here, and he's like, "Yeah, come down anytime." Guy's awesome. We
You
really
went
hit it off.
You went to Box and Burn.
I went to Box and Burn on Sunday, but I found another gym closer to my my Airbnb. But
Was,
yeah,
Was Tony there?
Tony actually wasn't there because it was Sunday. But
Did you tell me we're going?
Yeah, I did. No, he
Okay.
set it up for me because they're only doing.
okay.
They just opened up in LA. LA is like super tight. Like I had to wear a mask to work out. It was terrible.
Fuck,
Like literally hitting the bag with a mask on. But
that sucks.
they just opened up and they're only doing like you book 1 hour and you have to stay in one section of the gym. It's like it's all taped off. It's strange.
What
Very
about
strange.
you, Gary? How's it in Jersey?
I mean, we're training and everything privately. I haven't gone to like public gyms or anything like that. Well, first off, I don't think they're open. I think it's still illegal to open a gym in our state. I think the most that's open right now is like maybe barbershops and nail salons. I think maybe just got the pass or they're getting the pass very soon. But yeah, gyms are still supposedly closed. I think any contact sports are a no-go. Now, technically, professional sports have been allowed, right? But I mean, it depends on where you draw the line with that. Like, Tom's been running classes under that guy's, thinking that clause in the order will be able to stop them from shutting down his place. suggesting that basically like anybody who trains with him,
Is
it's part
professional.
of his professional training, right? So
Okay.
Good argument. Very good argument.
yeah, so I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how far you can take that or not, but so I could possibly get away with something like that, but yeah, like it's still at a point where nothing's open, so I haven't like put too much thought into like where I'm going to reopen my gym or anything like that.
But you have a law degree in Emu law, so you're
right.
pretty much a lawyer.
Basically.
Well, I mean, at least you've been keeping busy, filling yourself up with useless information.
I got that one from Craig. Craig came in one day. He's an Australian guy that trains with us, and he shared that.
Guy's savage.
I'm looking that up for sure.
Dude,
So,
it's amazing how much it's amazing how much Craig has improved like since moving to the US.
Yeah, he's getting really good.
Oh, he's the one who broke that guy's leg, right? He just broke his ankle.
Vinny.
Yeah, I watched that. That was gnarly.
Yeah. I have a match on the 26th, I think, in Houston as well.
Versus?
Or not Houston, sorry, Dallas.
Yeah, I saw that on your gram yesterday. You were posting some of your food, getting ready to make weight.
That's really the only other thing that's going on.
Versus who?
I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I'm gonna do it justice by calling him Quifinho, because that's as close as I can get to how you pronounce it, because I really don't know.
He's Brazilian?
It starts with a Q. Yeah, he's got some like weird nickname. It's like Queix Inho. And I'm just like, all right, sure.
What are like his accolades?
He's 4-time no-gi world champion. He's probably won a bunch of stuff in the gi too. I don't know. I don't really follow it that much, but
You don't see tape?
What's that?
Have you been like studying tape or no?
Yeah, I watched a bunch of tape yesterday. Under the rules that we're competing in, where it's like submissions it's just submission only. Basically, it's based on like, submission attempts and overall aggression, trying to finish the fight. So, in that sense, I would find it hard for him to beat me. I just don't see him entering into enough submission holds to win. I'd have to make like a big mistake, I think, and get armbarred. It seems like an armbar is his best move. But it doesn't seem like he has frequent enough attacks to win in a fight to win situation. So we'll see. He's strong, talented, obviously, world champ, probably been doing this his whole life, since he's been a little kid. So it's not like, it's never easy. But.
Well, if you find yourself in danger, make sure to hit that Flappy Bird, Gary. He doesn't know about the Flappy Bird. It's a stupid video I made with Gary, one of Gary's matches. I'll show you later.
Okay, I think you should evoke the power of the Emu War in order to battle hard, no matter what.
I'll embody the spirit of the emu. I might ride into the tournament on an emu. We'll see.
Guys, I think we should just address the elephant in the room. Who's Vinny the Chin gonna replace?
He needs his own show. He's too big for
sure. I think all three of us get fired and he works alone. That's pretty much how that.
He should take over Flesh Wound Podcast himself.
Man, I before I was saying that I wanted to go party with him, but after the podcast, I definitely
warned you
don't.
about that. I told you from the beginning. You're like, no, we're not bringing this guy out.
Yeah, it's man. So you're telling me there's more guys like Vinny the Chin over in Long Island?
Not to that level. He's Long Island. He's the legend of Long Island. But
he's a legend.
Right. He's reached legendary status. But yeah, there's a lot of top of the heap. Yeah.
Well, Long Island does produce like a lot of like social media sensation types, often by accident. Like remember that when that like midget, he was not an actual midget, but he's just a short guy, like just started yelling in a bagel place, and he was famous for a while.
Yeah, he was the bagel guy.
He actually went to Weidman's gym to work out and like train a little bit because he was gonna fight somebody.
Oh yeah, I saw that. He was gonna do like a celebrity boxing match, right?
Yeah.
So it's safe to say that Vinny is not coming to Japan with us.
Actually, I would bring him along.
Asia's a good place for him.
Yeah,
I think he'd have a good time.
He would have a great time, and there would be enough other things to deal with him, so he wouldn't burn down our hotel.
Especially how loose they are with all the rules over there, right? And that guy would go to jail in like no time.
Yeah, but I feel like most of the things that he does has to do with his mouth. So I don't think they're gonna understand what he's saying. So he probably won't get in that much trouble.
Chris, so how are the events going? You're like covering a bunch of boxing events, right?
Yeah, we're doing 2 shows a week for ESPN. I'm broadcasting like the international feed to the rest of the world, not like the ESPN feed. It's going good. We're losing one fight a show to COVID every show. So we've had 3 shows. Thursday's our 4th. So it's still out there. Guys are coming so in Vegas they're having it's at the MGM Grand Ballroom, and they have something called the bubble, and the fighters and everybody who's involved with any show or fight is stuck inside that bubble. Literally have security walking them from their room to go eat, to go to the gym, to back to the room, to go to the fight. Everybody hates it. I talked to all these fighters who are on the inside, and they're like, "Oh, it's like I'm in jail." But it's just a couple days for each show. But it's good. We're churning them out. We had 6 fights.
Are you
last night.
commentating the fights or like a post show or what?
No, so all the broadcast team we watch the fights on a screen, and I'm in a studio calling it from California, and we're watching it on TV just like everybody else and commentating, which is very difficult.
Now,
so much everyone's not there. Mm-hmm.
What is the intention? Because they do this in the UFC as well, and I'm going to be cornering somebody soon. So we'll see. It's probably going to be different because we're going to be in the Middle East now instead of Vegas. I don't really understand the intention behind isolating everybody before they fight. I mean, before that, they were out doing whatever the fuck they wanted to begin with. So are we just trying to avoid exposure to the virus within the 2 to 3 days leading up to the fight? Like,
no, because they test throughout the week. So they test when you first get there. So you're like, okay, you're clean. You go into the bubble, and they don't want you to be able to leave the bubble, get exposed, and then come back into the bubble. So you test on the way in, and then they test you. I think they test you when you arrive. They test you at the weigh-in, and then I think you're good because really, what else matters? And then you fight, and then you do whatever you want. But once you leave, like, that's it.
You know what I was thinking yesterday? I was watching one of Vinny the Chin's promo videos.
You mean every single one of them? Because that's usually the way that you do it.
Right. So
Deep dive.
if John Jones ever gets a wind of this, he's probably going to whoop some ass. Probably my ass.
Probably yours and Chin's. I don't think he's
Yeah, he's not gonna fuck with Chin. Chin's got dirt on him, so.
Nah, he's gonna get Chin for sure. I'm just saying. I think Garry and me are safe. I think you guys are fucked.
So for everyone out there who hasn't seen that fucking crazy ass episode 24, you should 100% see it.
Remember when you asked me what should you make the highlight? I'm like, it's the whole thing. Just chop up the entire thing.
Have you been making the highlights, or is Chin making the highlights? Because he's been sending the highlight like every day.
Yeah,
yes.
I made one, and then Chin is just like.
Oh, Chin's going and making it.
Yeah,
right?
he's going.
That's what I thought, because he's literally just cranking out like 2 to 3 highlights every fucking 6 hours. So I'm just reposting.
Chin is a force of nature.
You should know my style by now, Garry.
And naturally, I repost those highlights because Frankie didn't make them.
You fucking asshole. You know what, Chris? Next episode, I have to show you something. I'm gonna be releasing some tapes.
Okay.
Not porno ones.
some incriminating tapes.
Did you guys see the Dave Chapelle new stand-up, the 846?
I didn't see it.
No, it's in my queue. I didn't watch it yet.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's very insightful. It's kind of like a bit of a history lesson.
It's crazy how far he's come, Dave Chapelle, like from literally doing sketch comedy and in shitty movies to the biggest comic in the world.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's really smart. He's a really smart guy.
Yeah. I remember what happened with the last one. There was criticism of like it being too preachy and like, whatever. But like, I honestly appreciate that from like when I listen to these comedians. If the entire stand-up wasn't funny and then it was just like super preachy, I would get it, But I like the idea of them kind of mixing in their worldview with like the comedy and everything like that. It makes it more authentic. And, and why not? Like these guys are, they have that platform and, they want to talk about the way that they look at the world. Like they should.
They've earned it.
Something that stuck out like in the whole video is a story he makes about this guy that was a cop killer. Like he killed a cop and then he fled, right? I guess like he went on a rampage and killed a couple of cops. And then finally the cops, like with intel, caught up to him and found his location. And 400 cops showed up to raid this guy's house or his where he was like hiding out.
Mhm.
And they obviously like made him Swiss cheese, like he says. And he basically says that that's excessive. 400 cops showed up, and it's because they did it to one of their own. So it's he's saying that people who saw the George Floyd video envisioned themselves as that being one of their own, and that's why they're so, just so infuriated, which makes a lot of sense. Are protests still going on, like anywhere near where you guys are at?
Me, no, but they're definitely going on around the world.
What about you, Chris? You're like in LA. There's a bunch of shit.
Yeah, but I'm in the OC. The OC is different. I was hanging out with some OC
that's where
guys.
The rich folks are.
Not even that. I was hanging out with the OC guys this weekend, and they're like, the OC is like the Florida of the West. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, we do what we want. Like we opened up. Like, there's no one wears masks here. Like, everyone thinks that LA is like super locked down, and like California is like one of those states that like really, really tight. OC is wide open. I got here first day I was here last week. No mask. I walk into a store and I'm like, oh wait. I'm like, nobody has a mask on. All right, cool. Sat down, ate at 2 different restaurants. So it's wide open here.
The OC is nice, man.
Yeah, and then I went to LA over the weekend, like I said, to train with Tony up in Box and Burn, and it was like super tight. Like, people were looking at me weird walking down the street with my face out, which I hate. It's ridiculous.
Chris.
Like, we're outside, bro. Chill out.
Chris, how about the MILFs?
Down here?
Yeah, OC.
Dude, there's supermodels everywhere. Like, it's just like hot blondes on the beach at all times. Like,
the OC is notorious for having MILFs. Trophy wives.
I did go to because the gyms are open here, Gary. I went to Lifetime Fitness, and I've got a membership there. So I went to the one in Laguna. Wow, the women in there were. I pretty much I did cardio for an hour, but just staring at yoga pants. That kept me on there for.
Did you take your shirt off?
I'm pretty sure Lifetime Fitness that'll get you kicked out.
Man, you couldn't pull off your move.
Is it as bad as Planet Fitness? Do they have an alarm there?
No, it's just like it's a spa. Like Lifetime. Have you guys ever been to a Lifetime Fitness? A Lifetime, dude. They're like it's the top end. Take whatever big gym you can think of, like a.
Is it like Equinox or like
better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like everything is super high end. It's a spa. Like, it's sauna, steam, pool, hot tubs, indoor, outdoor lap pools.
Did you like what? You paid a day pass or you told them you were a pro boxer and got in?
I have a lifetime membership.
Really? Why?
Why not?
Bro, you probably jumped the security thingy.
No, I got the card, dude. Lifetime. Bro, there's perks. There's perks to being me. Okay.
Gets a little extra when he gets massages there sometimes.
Sometimes.
Eyewitness News, where news comes first.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger refused to work out at Gold's Gym Venice because they have a face mask policy, and he is no girly man.
I'm down for that.
He wants to pump.
Dude,
I feel like he's coming.
He's a god. He's a god there, especially. He built that place. Like,
have you guys seen that pumping iron bit where he describes his pumps as coming?
Yes.
Dude, that movie's amazing.
Greatest clips of all
I go to the gym, it feels like I'm coming. And then when I go home, I come and I come all day.
Yeah, nobody wants to come in a mask.
So you see, I have the greatest life. I'm coming all day long.
Exactly. Oh, Arnold.
Why would he go to Venice anyway? He's got like his gym at home.
That's his house, bro. That's fucking Venice.
Exactly.
He built that place.
I want to know
place
who's the
is
guy who
famous
told
because
him
of
to put his mask on. Who's the guy who told Arnold Schwarzenegger to put his mask on in Venice? Like, who got that job? And you got to go make sure that guy puts. Yeah, 100%.
He should get fired ASAP. It's fucked up. Have you guys seen his donkeys or his like little ponies?
The mini horse.
Yeah.
So awesome. He just sits around drinking whiskey, hanging out with his mini horse and smoking cigars.
Emus, I can't respect him.
Gary, we should
He's Austrian, not Australian, Gary.
Sorry, my mistake.
We should have like some of those animals soon enough. We'll have like
a petting zoo.
We'll get a piece of land in Texas.
Yeah.
And we'll get some emus. We'll get some llamas. I love llamas.
Llamas are cool.
The ones that spit though.
If I'm gonna be the true Tiger King, we gotta have some tigers as well.
Dude,
if
I was
taught anything by the Tiger King documentary, it's that tigers are cheap as fuck. Bro, you could buy a tiger for the price. Some tigers are the price of like certain like show dogs. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
talking like a few grand for a tiger, man. That's crazy.
I think it's illegal now. I don't think you can
No.
just own a
Depends on
tiger.
the state. I think it's
In
a state.
Texas? Hell
Well,
no.
that's why we're going to Texas.
Dude, in
We're
Texas,
gonna do it in Texas.
In Texas, they have more tigers in Texas than are naturally occurring in the wild.
Mm-hmm. That was a Joe Rogan skit.
It's a
He talks
real
about that a
thing.
lot.
There
Yeah,
are
it's
more
crazy.
tigers in Texas than exist in the world.
Dude, we're doing it in Texas. So listen, we're gonna have a couple of stables. We're gonna have the Tiger Stable, all right?
Huh?
And you can name it Tiger King Stable or whatever you want. And then we can have the Emu Stable, right? We could have a Llama Stable, and then we can have another stable called.
the emu together in combat.
Yeah,
And
I'm really nervous about the emus,
like a
guys. They're
metal
gonna they're gonna take over apparently.
Guys, and then we'll have the Epstein Stable.
Wow.
Huh? Huh? Huh?
And
Little
we'll
work
just,
and
we'll just
play,
fly in
guys.
billionaires. It'll be great.
Little
We'll bring
work, little
This time
play.
this podcast gets canceled.
Huh?
we'll tell the billionaires they're coming to see tigers and emus and llamas, and they get spit on by,
Hey, we need to revenue, guys. You know, we
Big
need to
time.
have several stables to increase revenue.
Oh my god.
literal stables in this idea.
That was a joke, by the way. So,
So don't cancel me, please.
if anyone,
Did you guys try and watch? And did you watch any of that documentary, the Epstein
I
thing?
saw like 10 minutes.
It's brutal. I can't watch it.
No.
It's just like it's so creepy for
it's
like it's just
so creepy,
how-
and he's such a creepy guy, so manipulative. In St. Louis, a statue of Christopher Columbus was taken down in Grove Park after 140 years being there.
Well,
140 years.
First of all, I don't really understand the relevance of, like, we're well aware now that Christopher Columbus actually didn't discover America. I don't really understand why we continue to work, like, why is there a Christopher Columbus Day? It's basically just out of habit at this point. Like, everybody knows that he was basically he didn't do any of the things that he said he did.
I think it's school teachers. They like the day off, so they're they're keeping it going.
Bro, are you talking about Columbus Day weekend? No, you fuck with that. Don't you fuck with that, Garry. Do you really think it's about Columbus at this point?
Of course it's not. I'm just saying that's not a statue. Like when people talk about tearing down statues of like Winston Churchill, okay, I'm on board with like defending that because like that's a person that was a really influential political figure. But like Christopher Columbus doesn't really mean much to me. Like that's not a person I give a shit about that I care to have a statue of.
So let me ask you a question. Would you like that weekend removed? Would you like that holiday removed, Garry?
Let's replace it with somebody more important like Harambe or something.
I mean, I'm down for replacing, not eliminating.
Yes,
okay?
That's fine.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to keep that weekend off.
Yeah.
See, Garry and I, we don't work real jobs. We don't worry about holiday weekends. We don't care.
Your
work
Columbus Day weekend is just another day for us. Like it's not.
They would-
Bro, I mean,
they would-
I was talking to a chick.
legendary things happen during that weekend.
I was talking to a chick and she's like, do you have any time like during the day to hang out? And I'm like, no, I do not. I have things to do. I am not available until like 8:30 at night every day. She's like, what about the weekend? I was like, I don't know if you heard me say every day the first time, but every fucking day I do the same thing.
Did you really talk to her that way?
It was via text, so I don't think the emotion that I'm holding in right now came off as much in the text. But yeah.
But did you say, did you not see, or did you not hear?
I
Like
definitely
that?
did not.
What an
I
asshole,
definitely
man!
did not.
It's amazing how much poontang Garry gets, being such a little diva.
Dude, that's why. That's you talk
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, that's what it is, man. Okay.
Nice guys finish
So
last, bro.
Listen, man, they won't respect you. They won't respect you if you just do everything that they tell you to do. This is the same girl that once, when I was younger, criticized and myself because I didn't purchase anything for her.
Jesus.
She would just come over and smash, and like we never had dinner or anything like that. And
So there was no monetary exchange on her part.
yeah. She's like, well, my other friends, like, you know, they like get things for me. And I'm like, yeah, well, you played this one the wrong way.
Wait,
you're a
your
hooker.
other friends? So she's like banging several dudes at once, like your other friends? And she would tell you that.
That's what she was saying, yeah.
Yeah. You're a hooker. Well,
I didn't
She a
say
woman
that.
of the night, Gary?
no, I'm saying that. Put that on your tax return. You were working. It's fine.
She's like, so-and-so just bought me expensive shoes. I'm like, is that supposed to make me feel bad? I don't understand. I feel like I'm the smart one in this situation. It's like I'm getting what I want without buying you shoes. I don't know.
Lesson learned. Treat them like shit so they have that daddy approval syndrome.
That is not what I said.
No.
That is not what I said at all.
It's falling on deaf ears. Here, Gary, we're not. Our charge here is not learning.
Let me speak for.
I would rather cherry
every woman
pick.
that's ever been involved with me, and say that dinner with me is not nearly as much of a reward as spending the night at my house.
Yeah, I saw your meal last night.
Dinner with me is not an exciting adventure. Let's put it that way. It's not really need to be involved in.
But on the flip side, Gary, all right, for all you ladies out there, he will work on that ass for hours. So
It's
he
true.
will pleasure you.
But even after dinner, I mean, I don't know how you guys eat. I eat a lot. A lot of times I want to lay down after I eat.
Chris is
I'm
like,
not
I'm
really
gonna take a nap for a little while.
You could just, make yourself comfortable. I'll be
You
back.
can blow
like
me if you want, but
Yeah.
I'm not getting involved.
Chris is a lousy date, man.
Oh yeah.
Stuffs his face and then just wants to lie down.
Mhm.
Maybe just get a BJ. All about him.
Yeah, you can rub
Go to
yourself out or
sleep.
whatever. I'm gonna go here. Close the door on the way out though.
So, Gary, are you in favor of like removing those Columbus statues?
In favor? No.
Yeah,
I'm not
like what do you?
I'm not like everybody should tear down statues. I don't really see a purpose one way. Like I'm a little bit. Here's the only thing that I'm concerned with when it comes to like statue removal and stuff like that. If enough people are into it, whatever, and it's not like that meaningful of a person and whatever. All right, I get it. But I do worry a little bit about the slippery slope that could start to cause, where we start neglecting parts of history simply because we don't like a particular person and what they did alongside the other things that they did, right?
It
So
could
we
be
just,
like a domino effect.
yeah, for example, like if you allow the removal of statues and then you let that slide into the education system and then say, oh, well, now they shouldn't learn about so-and-so because they were a racist, or they shouldn't learn about so-and-so because they had slaves, or it's just, that's a slippery slope that basically causes you to not learn real history. Like you do need to learn what
opening
happened
up
regardless of how terrible it was.
It's like
And if anything, that's counterproductive for the people involved as well, right? Like you want people to learn about, the terrible things that happen so that they aren't repeated, right? So I don't think it's a productive thing to happen for like anybody involved, even if they think that that's a good idea. As far as the statue removal is concerned, though, I really think the statues are meaningful in that sense? Like, do I think that that erases a person from history? Not really. You know what I mean?
No, and it shouldn't. Like you just said. Like we need to learn about the bad things that happen too.
Yeah.
This is their statement. When a statue of Christopher Columbus was placed in the park 140 years ago, its purpose was to celebrate the contribution of immigrants in this region. But now for many, it symbolizes a historical disregard for indigenous people and cultures and destruction of their communities.
Sure. I can understand that. I can see that perspective. I mean, he did fuck with a lot of indigenous cultures, so I get it.
He did steal a bunch of shit.
He ravaged and pillaged.
Yeah. It's definitely a two-sided argument, though. I will say this, that a lot of people, like in retrospect in history, now look at what happened with Native Americans, and they're like, oh my God, we just mercilessly destroyed everything that they have and this, that, and the other thing. But it wasn't like this. It wasn't like this perfect world that people like to make it sound like, where oh, we were just living peacefully with the Native Americans and we just decided we were going to wipe them out. There was a lot going on that caused that. that not to suggest that it was right, kind of necessarily what happened, but to suggest that we were the only violent parties involved in that exchange, I think is wrong and misinformed.
Listen, colonization has happened everywhere throughout history, all over the world. It's always violent. It's always that way. Like that's part of our history and the culture of the human race. You take a new place, you either get rid of the indigenous people or you put them to work and make them slaves. Like that's happened everywhere in history.
Sure.
The fact that we celebrate it here, I understand why people are pissed, but it kind of gives, like, I grew up thinking like Christopher Columbus was awesome. He discovered America, when I was a little kid.
Of course,
me too. So that's if as long as the narrative is accurate, then I don't think we should forget him.
I mean, you could kind of get to the point if you're gonna start splitting hairs. You could kind of get to the point where you could suggest that basically every country that exists today exists because of those reasons. That some person took over another country and killed a bunch of people and
war, rape, and pillaging. That's life.
And so what are you gonna do? Like I don't know. You're just gonna feel like shit every day because that's what happened. Like I don't know.
Right.
I feel fucking great, Gary.
I don't really.
Chris, and if people want to see Native Americans at their finest, they should go watch Bone Tomahawk.
Fuck yeah. That movie, well, actually, they're really bad in that movie. But now that I think about it, they're terrible. They're cave dwelling cannibals. They're not really good there, but sweet movie.
I also saw a petition to change Fort Bragg, like the name, because it had like some Confederate ties. But yeah, it's like you're saying, like this could open up a Pandora's box, and it's like, where do you draw the line? Like,
yeah. I understand those concerns though. Like I can definitely empathize, like them wanting to remove like the Washington Redskins name and things like that. Like I get it. It's a difficult thing, obviously, because there's been such a long history of doing that to change something. But
that is a fucking rough one.
I understand. I understand why they want to do it, and that makes sense to me. But again, if that starts to go elsewhere, that starts to become a problem where. You're just like, all right, we're not going to learn about this guy because he did X, Y, Z.
Do you guys get the sense that all of this is happening ever since Trump came into power? I feel like this wasn't really happening before that. Just so much cancel culture and so much sensitivity. And well, I mean, police brutality has been going on for a long time. Yeah, but I feel like it's
police brutality. First of all, was way worse decades ago.
Yeah.
Like way astronomically worse. Like the stuff that cops tell me that train in Henzo's that like used to go on, like I'm bewildered. I mean, there's no cameras. They literally did whatever the hell they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think also technology has gotten so good that just everybody has cameras now.
Yeah. Everything you do is
so it feels like it's happening more and more, but I don't think it is. I think it's just like it's been like this all the time.
Well, Will Smith had that great quote. He was like, there's not more police violence, it's just getting more filmed. It's getting filmed more, something like that.
There's also an effect that goes on, and this isn't just to suggest that this is specifically happening in this instance, but there's also an effect that goes on when it comes to the media, where let's say there's a set of problems in the world, right? And there's like 4 or 5 major things that are going on that like are the most important things that are going on in the world, right? But if those things aren't necessarily getting reported on and people it doesn't hit close to home for them, it's not like something that they get particularly passionate about, and it doesn't pop up in news media, then it feels like those 5 major problems that are going on in the world are just not that important. And the stuff that's getting put out over and over and over again feels way more important. Not to suggest that this is necessarily, I'm specifically speaking on this topic, but that kind of thing does happen with the media where, you're having like, I don't know, we're having this like these huge debates about like maybe like, I don't know, transgender politics or something like that. And like there's like way worse problems going on that like people are freaking out about that thing, and they think that's like the number one problem in the nation. Meanwhile, it only affects like a very small portion of people, right? But everybody's up in arms about it.
Yeah, that's a great point. The slice of the media pie that we see is always the most negative stuff. I had a friend asking me about like, oh, how's Long Island? I'm like, it hasn't been bad. They're protesting, but it's mostly peaceful. It's like, oh, but I saw this, these people that were really anti-protesters and whatever, and like, I saw it on a bunch of videos. Like, I thought of you immediately. And I was like, nah, for the most part, the protests here, my nephews have been going to the protests constantly. And, like, they're all fine. But the only thing she had seen from Long Island was this one negative, news clip.
I definitely have to say, if I was, like, a parent, like, and I had, like, kids, like, young kids, 16, 17 or whatever, I'd be like, yo, listen, you're going to start going to protests. Like, I'm probably going to have to throw you out of the house. I would be terrified. Not because I disagreed with them going to protests, but because of the things that I see happening at protests, dude.
Yeah.
I just watched a dude, like, a bunch of guys, like, ganged up on him with, like, skateboards or something, and then he shot a guy, like, 4 times in the chest. And it's like, dude, the idea of having somebody I love out in an environment like that is just terrifying to me. So I would just
exactly what I said to my boys.
Any of them. I get it. Like, I understand you're passionate about a cause, but fuck, man, I would have to wait until some shit calmed down before I would really go out and go do it. That's, man, you're putting your life in danger over that shit. You know?
But the issue is, like, my nephew's 19, the other one is 17. They're grown men. They can do whatever they want. We can't keep them from doing that. You know? So, or a 16-year-old, we don't let him go. Like, you're good.
Well, I mean, at least you could give him some advice.
Oh yeah, I just tell them, like, their dad's a cop, so, like, they're understanding. I'm like, listen, look, you guys, you're black. Like, my brother's wife is from Haiti, and the boys, I'm like, it doesn't matter if you're mixed. Like, you're black when you're out there. The cops are not going to look at anything else. Like, just be careful. Like, you don't know. And I'm not even talking about cops. It could be protesters, like Garry said. Some crazy things happen at these. Yeah. And
is there
tension? Attacking,
is there tension around the household?
No, not at all. No, the boys respect their father. They understand the importance of police. It's with
everything that's happening, it could get a little blurry.
Yeah, no, but it's good. It leads to a lot of family discussions about what's going on, and it's been really eye opening for me and myself, and for I think all of us to kind of go back and forth. And we hear things from my brother, firsthand at the ground level, and then also, like, we hear from the boys and what their experiences are, like, in real life. It actually leads to some really, really positive stuff.
Nice. Kids, you need to go do your chores. Fuck you, pig.
Yeah. Fuck blue lives.
Or like when your brother gets home. Yo, bacon. So yesterday, Garry didn't get that. Bacon as in pigs.
Yes,
I got it.
Oh.
I just don't think
it wasn't fun.
I'm kidding. I really just was half paying attention because ADHD.
That's cool.
ADHD, and it's really.
I was watching NBC News, and there's a feed. So it said 8 hours ago, and it goes, rally for Black trans lives draws packed crowd to Brooklyn Plaza, right? And it shows a bunch of people. And then 6 hours later, it says President Trump plans to rally his supporters next Saturday for the first time since most of the country was shattered by the coronavirus. But health experts are questioning that decision. So it's basically like kind of they're giving a thumbs up for like the trans rally. And then 2 hours later, they post this shit about Trump.
So now you have problems, right? Where you have some protests, like literally our governor in New Jersey actually put something out that suggested that it was okay to protest. Like, he's basically telling you what's okay to protest and what's not. He was suggesting that it was okay to go out during coronavirus, whatever, and protest for the Black Lives Matter movement. But if you were going out and protesting to try to have your business open because your business is about to get shut down and you're probably going to have no money and no place to live and no food to eat, that is not okay, right? So you couldn't gather for that reason, but you can gather for this reason. And that starts to become a huge slippery slope issue. It's not even a slippery slope. Like, that right there is a problem. Like, all right, now you're telling people like what positions and what things they're allowed to try to stand up for, and that's just ridiculous, man.
I saw
people
that.
People are getting citations for protesting for the wrong thing.
I saw this news graphic, and it was exactly what you're saying. It was like, CDC or experts say that it's okay to meet and congregate for Black Lives Matter movement, but not to anti-stay-at-home orders. Like, how come one's okay and one's not? Like, COVID is picking who is getting sick. Like, it's crazy.
So Terry Crews is getting heat from social media. Have you guys heard of this?
No,
I don't know what happened.
So basically, he works for America's Got Talent. He's like the host, right? And Gabrielle Union, you guys know her?
Yep, she's hot.
Well, she's a very pretty African American female. She She's married
Older
to
too. She's really.
Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So she used to work for America's Got Talent, and I guess she has like an asthma problem. And like Simon and I guess a couple of other people smoke on set, and she asked for them not to smoke. Like I guess she asked the producer, and they didn't care, and they kept on smoking. And she's suing them for that.
Yeah.
And Terry Crews, that works with them, for them, kind of chimed in and said, defeating white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. And then he said, equality is the truth. Like it or not, we are all in this together. And then people were up in arms saying that he's an Uncle Tom, that he's a racist, and what side are you on? So they're kind of twisting his words.
Wait, say that again. What did he say?
So he said, white supremacy without white people creates black supremacy. And then equality is the truth. Like it or not, we're all in this together.
Well, this is
basically no fucking winning with social media.
No, you can't win.
I mean,
You can't win.
Yeah.
This poor guy, like
that's one of those who's probably like,
There's
he's like, oh, this
nothing
is
wrong with
good,
that
this is
shit.
good, and after he's like, God damn it, that's not. Why am I getting canceled again?
And then we got another one. Have you guys heard of the CrossFit CEO?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So he tweeted, racism and discrimination are critical public health issues that demand an urgent response. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Reebok thought that it was an insensitive comment and dropped his ass.
Really?
Yeah. So Reebok dropped him and all his events. They severed ties with him.
That's huge.
So wait, like, are they suggesting that the post was sarcastic, or are they like?
No, they just said it was insensitive during
who?
this time.
Isn't it actually specifically sensitive? I'm confused. Did I mishear what you just said?
No,
Did he
it
just
said
say that it was a...
racism and discrimination are critical public health issues that demand an urgent response.
So how is that insensitive? If anything, that's sensitive. It's the opposite of what they're
I
saying.
just feel like these brands right now are like,
They don't want you to take a stance either
they
way.
just don't want you to talk. Just shut up.
That's so weird. See, when I had heard about that, I figured that he had come out and said something like, some sort of like police thing or like all lives matter or something. I figured he took some stance like that.
Yeah, that seemed pretty innocuous. I don't
Like
understand why that would get.
anything in support of the mainstream cause at the moment. So it's odd that anybody decided that that's weird.
Maybe Reebok is a white supremacist company. We're obviously not getting sponsored by Reebok ever. Sorry, guys.
Any future Reebok sponsorship, we just lost. So
We just lost that.
thanks. Thank you, Chris.
We should take notes about who ruined what as we go.
Yes.
So like Shane ruined everything.
When we're asking for sponsors like next year, we're just like, oh yeah, fuck. That's right.
In episode 17, Chris, you said this, and Frankie said that, and pretty much.
So I just saw that he also stepped down as CrossFit CEO.
Wow.
Man, this is so fucked up, dude. Poor guy. He's got a lot of money. He's 63 years old, and they twisted his words again.
Is he jacked?
I mean, he's kind of ripped.
Okay.
You know.
I appreciate that.
It's the only thing Chris cares about in this whole thing. Like, wait a minute.
Whoa.
Oh, does he got a six pack?
63? CEO? Is he jacked? You can't be my boss if you ain't jacked.
How big's his dick, dude?
That's what Frankie needs as a boss.
Even more relevant
That's
question.
what I want to find out. Chris, you got anything for us? Anything you want to cover?
No, I don't. I got a full French press of coffee in me right now, and I feel great.
Awesome.
You guys drink like a lot of coffee?
The tip and trick is
I have
drink lots of coffee.
2 cups of coffee a day, and then usually maybe some other slightly caffeinated beverage that's not as strong.
Yeah, I normally start with the yerba mate tea that I drink out of the mate. It's just kind of like it doesn't hit me the same way coffee does. And I'll have coffee in the afternoon. So like before my first session, I'll usually do like a strong tea, and then train, eat, and then I'll have another cup of like a cup of actual coffee later on. But sometimes if I skip the mate, I literally will drink an entire French press of coffee, or I'll have half of it and then have ice later.
Yeah.
But I drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
That's why I never have any Chimera, because
Oh, I actually have a fan question about yerba mate.
Okay.
So Mike from Philadelphia asks, "Hey Chris, I drink yerba mate just like you. Does this mean I'm gay? What should we
Yes.
respond?"
A scientific answer, yes. You are definitely. How many
Gary, are you
canceled
good on
listeners?
Chimera?
No, we're out now. We got Duncan.
Oh yeah, of course, because you allow fucking your roommate to make jars of Chimera and just give it away and
What are you
just
talking
waste
about?
it away.
What do you mean?
You say
it
he
away
makes like fucking really big like things of
Oh,
Chimera.
yeah,
Like,
we make a lot of coffee. I mean, we drink most of it.
Oh, Frank, I spoke to John Valente. He was on our show a couple shows back.
Yeah.
You sent him a package.
I don't have his address.
Oh, I'll get it to you. But like we were talking. He was like, "How did you guys hook that show up?" Whenever I told him about the Chimera, he's like, "I love coffee." I was like, "All right, I'll get you some." He's like, "Is it good?"
Give me his address. We need to have him on again. Hey, if anybody wants to talk to us about our stable or wants any advice from us or Vinny the Chin, fleshwoundpodcast@gmail.com. Cool, motherfuckers.
I move
Emu's out.
Peace
for no
out.
man, no man, no man.